Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. If you are a subscriber or you've been here before, so glad to see you. Glad to have you here. Appreciate your support. If you are new to the channel, I am Afefe, and I want to spell that for you. Many of you are like, and it's a different name. It's Afefe, and it means the wind. Okay, so wanted to just throw that in there. I am a certified tarot and oracle reader. I'm also, again, if you're not familiar with me, I'm a former newspaper journalist. So and also an initiated priestess in both pagan and African traditions. So I've got quite a little mixed bag going on, and I bring that, both my professional career, my spiritual career, kind of combine those things in my approach to reading. So hopefully that gives you some context about what I do. You all, let's dig in. I'm going to keep this short, respect your time. And I know I started to wait until Monday to get on, but that is going to be for many of us our non-President's Day or holding off until we get a legit one, right? So not, going to sit back tomorrow. So let's go. Three things, in fact, I want to go to Spirit for today. One, many of us have heard that Jamie Raskin is actually getting some momentum and talking about the potential of filing a class action lawsuit on behalf of Americans, period, in regards to DOGE and what's been happening with the takeover of the computer systems in the federal government, the Treasury, etc. And he's supposed to be doing it under what I understand is the Computer Fraud Act. But that has some requirements. He's got to meet a certain threshold in order to be able to prove that case and get something legit that wouldn't get thrown out of court, right? So while I know there's a lot of talk among, Americans in general who are like, do something. Let's, we gotta fight back, do something. And, of course, yes, people have been saying, sign me up. Where do I join the class action lawsuit? I'm in, right? But there's also, Raskin is saying, he's got to make sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed in terms of, having everything in place to legally, because from what I understand, he's got to be able to prove that there have been actual damages from the release of this information from what happened with DOGE going in and taking over these computer systems and getting access to private information. So how have people been actually damaged from that, right? So we're going to look at that, see what Spirit says in terms of how that's going to go. Secondly, on Tuesday, we understand that F45 and Muskrat are going to have a little powwow sit down with Sean Hannity on Fox. Not surprising, because we know the heat that DOGE has been, is coming under increasingly, even by many on the right, especially with what happened recently with Danielle Sasson and others who are conservatives with the Justice Department and the U.S. Attorney's Office, who are saying, we're out. We're not doing this in regards to Eric Adams. And speaking of Eric Adams, the third thing I want to look at today, we're going to go to Spirit and see, what's Kathy Hochul going to do, right? A lot of pressure that she's under right now to remove Adams from office. So let's see what she's going to do. She has a lot at stake. She's up for re-election next year, 2026. So let's see what happens. Andrew Cuomo is certainly sitting there waiting in the wings to see how this is going to play out. So let's go, you all. Let's take a look. First, let's look at and go to Spirit in regards to this class action lawsuit that Jamie Raskin is proposing. And there's a lot of support for that. And I think that is a part of, a lot of Americans saying, look, just, give us point us in the right direction, tell us where to show up, what we need to sign, how we need to do it. Spirit, is that going to gain some momentum? Is that going to gain some momentum? Jamie Raskin filing a class action lawsuit. Ooh, we've got the Ace of Pentacles, you all. Now, that's not a done deal, but that is the potential for it. Aces are potential, something new, something happening. And I love that it came in Pentacles, because that's an actual, starting something tangible, something that we will see. So this is real. This is not just him getting up there, giving some speeches and getting the people riled up about what sounds good. Nine of Swords. Okay, so there is some concern around the viability, not making sure that the grounds and being able to prove damages, because that's what it's going to hinge on, being able to prove damages to Americans whose whose data, whose private data was accessed, and be able to prove in what way specifically, and that they can prove where people have been harmed. Got another 9 here, 9 of Wands coming with that 9 of Swords. This is the work. Would be momentous work. And also remember too, because of the scope of such a lawsuit being a class action lawsuit, this would also be civil. From what I understand, this is not criminal, it would be civil. So that also has a lot to do with how it would play out in the courts. Spirit, will there be enough? Will he get enough evidence to be able to bring a class action lawsuit? 7 of Cups, evaluating it, so many different ways to go about it. The Devil, 7 of Cups. This is getting beyond. I think the Devil is coming in to get beyond, a certain threshold of what they'd have to get. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hold that upside down. To get enough information, because it wouldn't be just a matter of people signing on. It would be a matter of people being willing to testify, be identified clearly, prove and supply their information. Here my bank account got touched, or I missed my payments, or my mortgage is now in default because of money that I was due. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's why the Devil is showing up. There's fear. Very often the Devil will show up in a reading where there's some sort of fear attached to it. And I think in my final card in that those 3, the Devil, the 7 of Cups, and then I got the 2 of Swords. So that's a conflict. That's not only being able to prove it, but people coming forth with their information to say, I've got proof. You need proof? Here it is. Here's how I've been damaged. And that, of course, puts people at risk. But we have the 3 of Cups, not giving up. And we also have the 3 of Cups, and comes with the Queen of Cups. It's on the table, you all. It's not a done deal. Because this is a really high bar, not just, like I said, to prove it, to be able to have enough proof to substantiate it as a class action, but also recognizing that they would actually have to get people's information. That's how, and people who would be willing to come forward and share their specific information in order to do it. Thank you, Spirit. When I get aces in a reading like that, when I'm in a flow, that's my confirmation. Spirit is saying, yes, that's the hold up or the hiccup for now. So it could happen, but again, like everything else we're seeing with the courts and other things where DOGE is being challenged, Muskrat is being challenged, it's a timing issue. And it's about, I saw a really interesting piece on Bulwark. Many of you are familiar with Bulwark, Bulwark, in case you're not. And Jim Acosta, who we know, seeing on CNN for 18 years, decided to resign because they really did him dirty. Cuban American, like solid journalist, but very much critical of Trump in the past and recently, so they got rid of him. Anyway, he did a great interview on YouTube with the Bulwark channel, and he was saying this, he still feels very optimistic, but this is related to this reading we're doing now, that this is a timing issue, and people have got to be ready to just go the long haul, go the distance. This is going to be about, who can outlast, who can hang in there and outlast. And I think that's what we're seeing with this lawsuit. The intention, remember we started out with that Ace of Pentacles. So the intention to do it is real. This is not sound bites. This is not just stuff being said to keep Americans on the hook and at least feel like something can be done. But it is, it will take a lot of work, and it will take a lot of courage. Remember that Devil, it will take a lot of courage for people within that class action lawsuit being ready to show and demonstrate exactly, here's what happened to me. That's going to take a lot of courage. So let's see what happens. It's on the table, but it will be a timing issue and a long time coming, perhaps. All right. Trump, Musk, or dang, I didn't even mean to say his name. F45 and Muskrat appearing with Sean Hannity. Now we know why they're doing that. Of course, on Fox, to appeal to their base, to reassure their base, we got this covered. Don't get angry. Don't buy that. Don't believe the hype. Everything's under control. I wonder if, in fact, that's going to backfire, you all, because there is growing resentment within the MAGA base. Many of you have said it. I'm feeling it as well from Spirit, that there's growing resentment, that all of this, their votes went, and remember that teeny tiny margin, 1%, supposedly, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, because if we start looking at those voting machines and why we haven't, that's a whole other reading. But the bottom line is they're not happy. And we've already seen farmers coming out and saying that with the pullback of these federal with this federal aid, farmers are going into debt. It's bad. It's really bad. And the majority of farmers and people in rural areas, agricultural community, they voted that way. And they're starting to, that whole FAFO acronym that we've been, they're on the FO end of that, the find out end of that. So I am wondering if, in fact, while, from a propaganda position, this interview is being conducted by Sean Hannity, if, in fact, it's going to work just the opposite way and prove once again that Musk is a co-president, the two of them sitting there together, speaking on behalf of policy, American policy. I have a feeling Spirit is the F45's base. Is this interview with Sean Hannity going to really turn a lot of people off and start to mount public anger and distrust and turning away from F45? We have the Three of Wands. Perhaps. And it comes, I can't ignore it, at the bottom of the deck. Ooh, can't ignore this either. The High Priestess. They may be afraid to say it, but with the groups, Three of Pentacles and the Three of Wands, a growing sentiment of how Pentacles, their money, their jobs, many of these federal workers are conservatives who voted that way. And yet they have been targeted and they are being told you're out of work. Unceremoniously. Goodbye. Okay? High Priestess. I'm sorry if you hear there's a baby outside who is not happy with they got to get that straightened out. So if you hear a little something, that's what it is. All right. Spirit. The MAGA base, the Trump base, Ace of Cups. Told you how I feel about my aces. Yes. There's going to this interview that's going to air on Fox on Tuesday with Sean Hannity. It is going to reaffirm the idea that it is Musk who is in charge and not F45. Keeping in mind as well, I saw a brief clip of it. When you just look, he's Muskrat is what, 53? And old boy is coming up on 79 in a couple of months. Visually, and not to even bring back up that little episode from the Oval Office where Muskrat's little boy was telling him, "Shut up, you ain't the president." Okay. For entertainment purposes only. So that the image and dark MAGA, Muskrat standing there as dark MAGA in his dark MAGA attire, towering over this aging, like, not a good look. And I think the people, Spirit is saying the people are definitely seeing that. Six of Swords. How do we move on from this mess we created? Not going to want to say that and own up to it, High Priestess. But within their circles. And I will tell you who else they're telling me, thank you, Spirit. They're saying even aside from the base, the GOP. They don't like him. They don't like either one of them, to tell you the truth. But, ooh, and here comes the Tower. Let's round it out with that. There's some fallout from this, you all. And I do believe Spirit is saying, because they just reminded me of the GOP, this is the High Priestess within the congressional ranks as well as the rank and file. This look, because it is legitimizing and affirming and confirming the idea that that Muskrat is the one calling the shots. And old guy who, you know, never had an original thought, but just is a salesman for entertainment purposes only, and a reality TV star. He's the one. He's the face. Excuse me. I got some incense going, a little strong. But he's the one calling the shots. Not going to go well. All right, y'all, and we're going to round this out today with Kathy Hochul. Let's cleanse the deck. Spirit. Eric Adams. Ooh, when he got on that, when he agreed to go on that, was it Fox and Friends morning show with Homan. Homan, who said, if you don't do what you just agreed to do, I will show up at your office and get up in your butt. Period. Point blank. And he sat there. Supposed to be the man. I don't know a whole lot about Eric Adams, you know, I you know, just what I read, but like, he's supposed to be that dude with some juice. Like, you don't just haul off and become mayor of a place like a major city like New York because you're nobody. Like, this is not a good look for him. And he just sat there and grinned through it. Like, talk about getting punked. All right, we have the Five of Pentacles. This is Hochul, and Hochul being able to make a decision to remove Eric Adams. She's wondering if she has the real support. She recognizes, definitely under pressure to do it, definitely with the national and global spotlight on her and on the city of New York. 10 of Cups, trying to get that support. Knight of Wands. I feel like that's somebody in her ear. And now the Knight of Pentacles, moving slow, buying time. Someone in my comments the other day said that she's trying to avoid a special election. Because Pentacles moves slow. And the Ace of Wands, Spirit is confirming that. She's going to slow roll it, you all. She was on with Rachel Maddow. Many of you probably saw that, Hochul, last week. And she said, you know, she had her face on and all, you know, and no, you know, this is unacceptable and blah, blah, blah. But I think she's trying to buy time. And this is very political for her. She wants to do what is more politically expedient for her. Because she doesn't want to hurt her re-election chances. And let's just go ahead and, we don't even have to read on it to know that Adams is done. You know, him trying to run for, he's done. All right, we have this is Hochul, the Queen of Swords, with her Liberty crown behind her. So that's her Spirit, bottom line, and wanting to do what is wise. Notice that's her crown, but she's trying to do what she feels is going to be what is wise, what is in her best interest. Her best interest even more so than you know what hey, politics, right? 3 of Coins and the King of Swords. She needs buy-in from someone who is willing to come out, who would have enough sway. I don't know that this is Hakeem Jeffries, who, I don't know about you all, I'm becoming increasingly a little disappointed with him. I support him, but his, you know, becoming the politician of politicians, like just listening to his words, he always says the right thing, but it's always kind of, it feels like it goes in this circular motion, you know, just the talking points kind of thing, like the old Democratic way of doing things from the Nancy Pelosi school of politics. Like, this is not the time for that, Hakeem. I hope he gets that message sooner rather than later. But this is her. She needs buy-in from someone who has enough weight to justify and legitimize her decision to remove Adams. And she also, she does not, because King of Swords is also, remember Gemini, F45 is a Gemini. She does not want to get in his crosshairs as she is running for re-election. Hey, comes down to politics every time. 10 of Pentacles, that's it. It's about the money. It's about her donors. It's about her her desire to win office again. So unless she gets the buy-in from enough people to sway and be able to look, I had to do it because there was this overwhelming proof. Yeah, this will not happen anytime soon. And the Eight of Swords. She's stressed out about it. Yeah, she's really afraid of doing it. She talks a good game, and as she did when she appeared with Rachel Maddow. But this is going to require. Spirit is saying this is going to require continued pressure, continued momentum, and not a situation where something goes through a news cycle, as we see too often. For a week or two, and then it starts to go a little underground. If these ICE raids, and if Holman, as he threatened to do for entertainment purposes only, started to talk about targeting AOC, because she's been trying to get these pamphlets and information out to immigrants especially in her district in New York. Here's know your rights, know what to do. And so he's calling her out. Holman's been calling her out like, oh, is this what you want to do? Maybe you are in trouble too. And she's like, I don't think so. But those kinds of things, if that ratchets up, because remember, this was Eric Adams' deal with the administration regarding ICE and the use of Rikers Island. If that begins to ratchet up, if we see, God forbid, abuses at Rikers, etc., and this continues to, the momentum gains, then maybe she'll do it, but not anytime soon, you all. I mean, like when I say that, Spirit's like, it ain't about to happen. We ain't going to wake up and see that as a breaking headline tomorrow morning. All right. All right. Tomorrow ain't celebrating. What president? What president, right? And yes, Team Kendrick and that whole incredible messaging that we saw happen last week, all about it. All right, you all, stay safe out there. Chin up. Remember, as Raskin said, and so many of us are saying, this is outlast. This is the long haul. All right. So breathe, chin up, shoulders back, stay calm. We got this. I'll talk to you real soon. Don't forget, I'll put a link below. I'm doing my spiritual politics meetup on Zoom privately, so it's in a safe space. I do charge a small fee for it, and my reason for that is so that if I do something free, anybody could show up. Somebody being disruptive, coming for all the wrong reasons. I figured if people are willing to pay a couple of dollars to join, it shows that they're there for the right reasons. And last month when I did it, exactly that happened. Had a beautiful group. So I would love to have you join me. It's going to be on Friday, March 7th, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll put the link below so you can get the information on that. All right. I hope to see you there. Take really good care. I'll talk to you in a few days. Bye.